So, Sheikh, you keep mentioning books, right? And I know books are a huge part of your life. Tell me a little bit about, before we go into books, tell me a little bit about personal development, because obviously with Discover, you know, it's kind of like Islam-based personal development and stuff. Like, like I had this kind of argument with someone, and they were just like, Muslims just don't care about personal development, right? Like, is that your belief as well, that Muslims, they're not really into it like the non-Muslims, where the industry's huge and stuff? Or is it that we're just a little bit behind and we've still got that kind of Asian mentality? Or like, what do you think about personal development in general?
This friend of yours that said Muslims don't care, does he care?
Yeah, I think he cares in it, but he doesn't believe that the Muslim market believes in it like he does.
Um, so for sure, Muslim community does care. It goes back to marketing. So if I if I'm like trying to tell people, hey, I really like XYZ personal development program, and nobody's buying into it, it's not necessarily like the conclusion is that they don't care. The conclusion is, well, you haven't explained it properly to them, or maybe your sample size to come to that conclusion is very small, and you haven't seen the Muslim community. From my experience, that human beings like to develop themselves, actually Muslim or non-Muslim. It's a human trait that we want to grow. So if somebody is presenting that to a Muslim community in a way that speaks their language, that excites them, and they want to develop, they will listen to that. It just depends on, you know, that person, if they can communicate it in an effective way or not.
Amazing. So what are, like, do you feel the most important areas for kind of Muslims in terms of like developing themselves and stuff?
I find that based on people's excuses, the number or the top two excuses people have are I don't have enough money and I don't have enough time. So time comes first, and then money comes close. So that you tell them, hey, why don't you do X, Y, Z? You know what, subhanAllah, I'd love to, but I don't have any time. And the second thing they would say is like, man, that sounds so great, but subhanAllah, I don't have any money. So I tell people that two of the areas that I find are most important to resolve really early on in your life is managing your time, like figuring this out, because your whole life you're going to need the time. And so that you never say to anybody, hey, I don't have time. My response is I always have time for the things that I care about. So yeah, and it's kind of like a side point. A lot of times people say to me something like, Mohammed, I know you're really busy and you don't have that much time. Actually, you know what? I'm actually very not busy.
Yeah, they don't know
And
you.
I have lots of time, but for the things that I care about, you know, it's like protecting it. The other thing is about money, where a person says, well, you know, this sounds amazing, this could change my life, but I can't afford it. And I would tell people, if you don't master your money, then you become its slave. So it's like, take the time to master the money issue so that your whole life you don't have to be like giving up on things just because, well, I don't have money, I have to go to work, don't have money, I have to go to work, that kind of stuff. And figure out money, figure out time. I'd say those are the top two things people should focus on from the get-go.
Okay, amazing.